This is absolutely ridiculous as we're talking about the Rams potentially moving on from their star running back to their rookie running back. We'll talk about all of that as well as the Rams training camp being in Hawaii. We'll talk about all that and much more on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Press that subscribe button now as roughly 72.4% of you guys are watching the videos, but you're still not subscribed to the channel. So do me a favor, press that subscribe button so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. This first story here, I'm a little bit upset about. I do understand what we're talking about, but I just want to make sure I emphasize we need to relax and calm down. Kyren Williams is gone. He's gone. He's no longer on the Rams. We're going to cut him and move on from him. What are we talking about here? Well, the Rams obviously drafted Jarquez Hunter. We know that in the draft out of Auburn. Interesting running back. It looks like he could be a good prospect for the Rams moving forward for the future of the running back position. Rams may cut ties with Kyren Williams after NFL draft decision. This comes to us from Billy Heehan, but he is also quoting Sports Illustrated, Brock Vieira, so we'll talk about his quote in a second, but ultimately I get it. I understand people want to already look at the future. They want to see what is happening next, but it's way too early to say the Rams should or maybe even are planning to move on from Kyren Williams in the near future, even if you're saying after next season. The Rams have a decision to make at the running back position. Don't get me wrong. Do you want to pay your running back? It's just not really smart for NFL teams nowadays to really pay running backs. It feels like, at least. Of course, I want everyone to get paid their money. But ultimately, it seems like in recent memory, running backs getting paid can be sometimes bad for NFL teams, but also just ultimately not an ideal situation for the cap space and how to handle your cap space. Running backs can't necessarily carry you all the time to a Super Bowl, although we did just see Saquon Barkley and what he did for the Philadelphia Eagles. But that team was, generally speaking, pretty perfect before they paid him, right? A pretty great roster all around. I don't want to call them perfect, but a great roster all around. Added Saquon Barkley, that kind of was a new dynamic for them. But ultimately, typically speaking, generally speaking, paying a running back isn't always the smartest move for teams. And they just don't seem to want to do it nowadays, right? So if the Rams are trying to avoid kind of like, considering what happened with Todd Gurley, right? We'll talk about that in a second, what Brock Vieira has to say. But if the Rams want to consider moving on from Kyren Williams and saving some money at the running back position, I can see that happening. I don't know if drafting Jarquez Hunter automatically means that's what they're going to do. So Sports Illustrated's Brock Vieira recently suggested the Rams may let Williams walk after next season, or this upcoming season. Vieira's logic centers around the draft selection of promising running back Jarquez Hunter out of Auburn. While the Rams have explored extension talks with Williams, they did just draft Jarquez Hunter, and if Hunter proves to be the real deal, considering what happened after Todd Gurley's extension, the Rams may be cautious to shell out money on a running back, Vieira writes. And ultimately, I do want to emphasize, this isn't necessarily Brock Vieira just kind of clickbaiting or anything like that. I think he ultimately is really trying to analyze this situation, analyze the running back room, and see, could the Rams move on from Kyren Williams? Could they be mentally preparing to move on from Kyren Williams? I mean, realistically, the Rams do have to consider this in general with all their players at every position, right? In a couple years, some of these guys are going to be a little bit older, a little bit slower, especially the running back position, right? All the carries that Kyren Williams has been kind of having that workload for the last couple years, you do got to consider moving on from him. I'm just not sure if drafting Jarquez Hunter automatically means that they are planning to do that. A little bit of a smaller running back, Kyren is as well, but ultimately I think we got to be patient here. Let's see what happens first. Let's see how Hunter performs this upcoming season, and then we could talk about possibly moving on from Jarquez Hunter. But right now, Kyren Williams is the main lone star running back. He's going to be the workhorse running back for the Rams this upcoming year. Blake Corum will probably get a little bit of run once he's healthy. And obviously Jarquez Hunter, I'm assuming, will get a little bit of run at some point this season. But let's wait and see what he can do on the football field in the NFL, at the NFL level, before we go ahead and say, let's move on from Kyren Williams. You guys let me know how you guys feel about that in the future of the running back room. Are you happy with Kyren? Are you ready to move on? I know some people have some mixed feelings about him. So let me know how you guys feel in the comments section down below. Moving on from that, the Rams in Maui. We are talking about them actually having a potential, or not potential, confirming they're having a mini camp in Maui, their training camp, if you will, in Maui. So obviously, we know that relationship the Rams have with Maui a couple years ago, having that fundraising kind of money going towards the efforts after the fires, the tragic fires that happened in Maui maybe a year or two years ago. And so overall, obviously that connection already exists. The connection with Los Angeles, of course, exists. If you're from Los Los Angeles area. You guys know the connection that we have with Hawaii in general. And so now we're teaming up again. Los Angeles Rams and Hawaii Tourism Authority team up to promote Hawaiian Islands in Maui with Maui Camp. I think this is kind of a slam dunk home run. Why hasn't this happened sooner type of situation? Because I think, Los Angeles, obviously, it is kind of a 5-hour flight, by the way, for those who don't know, a 5-hour flight to get to Hawaii. So obviously that's not necessarily ideal. But training camp, mini camp, right, in general, you kind of are there for a while, right, a week or two. So why not send, the athletes over to Hawaii, have a good time, nice and relaxed with some family members, of course, but also focus on football lightly and, bring that potential Los Angeles Rams fandom to Hawaii for some tourism as well to help kind of the area in terms of getting their tourism numbers up. Not that Hawaii needs the help, I'm sure, but of course, I think during this time, as they were kind of rebuilding the last year or so, they could probably use some help in terms of the tourism attraction a little bit. Here is Rams president Kevin Demoff on the situation. He says, "We are thrilled to return to Hawaii and for the first time in the NFL bring minicamp to Maui." So the first time in NFL. I'm surprised, again, it's taken this long. Los Angeles and Hawaii share a special relationship, and we are grateful to the HTA for teaming up with us for this historic partnership. Not only will this trip be a great opportunity for our players, coaches, and their families to spend time together in a special setting, but also for our organization to celebrate and pour into youth football programs and players who call Maui home. And I think that's also a very important key, right? There's a lot of football players out there. I know we've seen recently like a 7-on-7 team out there in Hawaii in general. Not know if it's specifically Maui, but some pretty good football players out there as well, right? Obviously, we've had NFL players in the NFL from Hawaii as well. If I'm not mistaken, right? Puka Nacua has some family at least from Hawaii. And so overall, in general, the relationship's already there. It already exists. I'm surprised it's taken this long again to happen and to have this first ever mini camp in Maui. I think it's going to be a fun time. We're going to see a lot of good social media posts and things like that from this situation. If you're curious and want to kind of make your way out to the mini camp, I'll double check real quick as you hear a car driving past my window. If you heard that, sorry. They're blasting music. It's June 16th through June 19th, it looks like, for that mini camp. So just a few days, maybe a little weekend in Hawaii if you guys want to go out there and spend some time with the Rams, watching the Rams mini camp. Go ahead and maybe take a look and see if you can maybe get some tickets to go see something like that. I don't know if I'm sure they're going to have a place for fans, right? So overall, that's a pretty cool story there. Just a fun little light story to talk about. Rams will be in Maui in just a few weeks. So shout out to them and for making that connection with the Hawaii Tourism Authority. Moving on from that, last but not least, trivia of the day, my favorite part of the episode, where I give a trivia question. You guys give your trivia guesses down below. I gave a very, very Rams specific question. I'm going to kind of do a couple more Rams trivia over the next couple episodes, just kind of trying some new trivias out, not necessarily going off the cards that I've been using typically. So that'll kind of be fun. If you guys want to play along, go ahead and play along with today's trivia of the day if you missed last one. But for last episode's trivia of the day, which should have been an easy one for a lot of Rams fans here, who has the most career passing touchdowns in Rams history? I did give some multiple choice options as well, and the options was it A, I think it was, I actually forgot the order I gave these, but was it Roman Gabriel, was it Jim Everett, was it Mark Boger, or was it Norm Van Brocklin? Those were kind of the multiple choice options I gave everybody. And so if you had a chance to see this trivia of the day and you gave your guesses in the comments, I'll give you a shout out in just a second. But if you missed it, don't worry, we'll have a trivia question for you today to guess, and you can play along and get a shout out on the next Rams Digest episode that I'm on. So here were the trivia guesses for last episode. We had the real J. Will saying Jim Everett. We had Brian B. saying Jim Everett. We had Floyd saying Roman Gabriel. We had Jason saying Roman Gabriel. And we had Jerome Griffin saying Jim Everett. So 3 for Jim Everett, 2 for Roman Gabriel. What is the correct answer? First of all, shout out to all of you guys for playing along with last trivia of the day. I always appreciate when you guys guess, even if you get it wrong. The reason why is because I know if you get it wrong, you didn't cheat, you didn't Google it. Not that if you did get it right, you did Google it, but I know for sure you didn't Google when you get it wrong, right? The correct answer, though, for this trivia question, I said passing touchdowns, career passing touchdowns. The correct answer was actually Roman Gabriel, 154 career passing touchdowns. I believe Jim Everett is the leader for the Rams history in passing yardage. Here's a little interesting thing, too, I could pull up for you guys. The stats. Here's the top 8 for passing touchdowns. I thought this was very intriguing. Jared Goff is number 5 in just 4 seasons with the Rams, only 69 games played. Jared Goff was sitting at 107 passing touchdowns. So number 5 over Kurt Warner in terms of passing touchdowns, and even in his passing yardage, he's at 18,000. I think he's like ranked like 7th, I think, on this list or something like that. With Matthew Stafford as well, current Rams quarterback, obviously 1 year maybe short of what Jared Goff, his playing career in LA. Matthew Stafford, 95 passing touchdowns. 14,000 passing yards. So shout out to the current and most recent former Rams quarterbacks. But yes, Roman Gabriel was a correct answer for this trivia of the day. If you guys missed it or you guys want to play along with today's trivia of the day, don't worry about it. We'll play along with today in just a second. Shout out to all of you guys again for playing along with the last trivia of the day. Today's trivia of the day is this question here. Who was the first Rams player to win the league MVP award? Very, very intriguing one, very historic one. I will give you a little bit of hint. It's an older name. That's all I'll say. An older name. I'm not going to say how old, but I'll say older name in general. Was it A, Deacon Jones? Was it B, Norm Van Brocklin? Was it C, Bob Waterfield? Or was it D, Parker Hall? Again, who was the first Rams player to win their league MVP for the first time in Rams history? Was it A, Deacon Jones, B, Norm Van Brocklin, C, Bob Waterfield, or D, Parker Hall? Give your guesses down below in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out on the next episode, whether you're right or whether you're wrong. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I'm out.